Hey guys, it's Greg from HarvestLoop, and we are showing you how to plant your harvest kits, the 12 pack that you received with thematic plants. We're planting them in the afternoon on a fairly windy day. I'm using my one of my loopers from our company to help me with the project. I'm just going to narrate while he does the work. So let's dive into it. All right, so you're looking at the kit here, and what you see is 12 large plants ready to go. We got straw mulch, we got some fertilizer, and we have some worm castings. We have something to measure out how you're gonna plant them and where they're gonna go in your garden. And the way we do this is we're going to be digging our holes first and getting everything measured out. So we're gonna be measuring distances. We'll give you a guide that you can use in the kit, but you can also just use a ruler. Usually things are about 6, 12, or 18 inches apart. This is the exotic Asia kit. And so we have a good selection of different crops here. We got kohlrabi, which is such an interesting plant. I can't wait to have our kohlrabi grow this year. We got two kinds of Mizuna lettuce. We have broccolini. We have some scallions and cabbage. We got Chinese cabbage in there. And sometimes we'll have bonus plants as well, and usually you'll get some bonus plants, maybe some sugar snap peas or just other plants that are fun to have. The way you use the ingredients we provided is you're going to put a little bit of worm castings, which is a small bag, into the hole. You're going to put a pinch of the fertilizer. This is our special blend. It's a 5x5 with additional additives in there, all organic. And so you're going to use the 5x5 HarvestLoop custom blend. You're going to put a pinch inside the hole, and then after you plant, you're going to do a ring of fertilizer around the hole, not on the stem, but around it. And then you're going to put your straw mulch on top of that. And the mulch is going to be helpful to keep moisture in, to make sure that as you water, you're going to have the moisture stay in longer with the mulch. And you always want to mulch around your plants. The mulch does, basically dissolve into the soil over time. It's going to fertilize. It's going to give more energy and nutrition to your soil. So you want to use a generous portion of mulch. Okay, so what you have here is some good spacing out of the plants. We're dealing with a bed with limited space. We also have another kit that we're going to be installing over here. So we're trying to squeeze them in just a little bit. You can spread them out if you have the room. The most important thing is that the broccolini, the kohlrabi, the cabbage, those like to have a little bit of space, 12 to 18 inches of space between them. And so these are grids, the watering grid here, so they're about 1 foot each. And so you can more or less space out 1 foot just by putting them in different grids, and then diagonally you get a little extra space. So basically we're using our ruler, we figured out 12 to 18 on all those. The lettuce can be a little closer together, the onions can kind of go anywhere. And so I think we're gonna have a good success with this layout. We'll see. And if you have any comments, you can definitely let us know what we're doing right or wrong. Okay, so we're digging our holes now, and we want these holes to be the same depth as the pot that we're taking the plant out of, so that ideally the plant line of the dirt lines up well with where it was in the pot, to just try and reduce some of that shock when we bring it into the planter. So now that we are ready, we took the plants out of their pots. We're now adding some worm castings into the hole, and we're going to do the same with our fertilizer. You could be generous with the castings as long as the packets are pre-measured, so you want to kind of figure out how that would fit into 12 holes and just kind of work backwards from that. By the way, if it's hard for you to do this job yourself, if you just don't want to deal with it, we're happy to have our loopers come to your house and plant for you. It's only about $20 more to have our looper come in and take care of it for you. So you might as well take advantage of that offer while we're doing the October special. So looking forward to delivering these kits to you, and we would be happy to help you in your garden. If you don't have a raised garden bed and would like to actually get one, we also provide that service as well, where we can help you get a raised garden bed, get your dirt, get your soil, get all the amendments, drip irrigation system, so we can handle all that for you. Now we're going to move on to the fertilizer. So with fertilizer, some people do generous pours in the holes. Some people say don't burn the roots by putting too much in. We like to do a pinch. We already have some fertilizer in the soil overall when we created the bed, maybe a little less than that. We're going to do just a pinch. Yep, that's good. And so we want to make sure we, give some nutrition, but also don't burn the roots in the process. So probably even a little less than that for the remaining. It's probably about half as much as the worm castings that you put in. So we started off with moist soil, but we do like to water in the worm castings and the fertilizer that we just added. We want to just water it in and make sure you have a nice moist hole for the roots to catch on. And we're also going to water around afterwards and make sure we really give it a healthy water once we get the mulch laid down. And so without pressing too hard, you do want to pack it in just a little bit more, and you want to push down to make sure there's contact. And you want to keep those tags with the plants, although this particular arrangement is fairly straightforward and obvious as to which plants are which, but you do want to keep your tags. We will be providing in the kit some tags that you'll be able to plant in your garden. You'll be able to leave them in for the entire season, and that'll come with your kit as well. And now that your plants are in, we're putting some fertilizer around the plant. I think a little bit more than that would be good. You want to see a nice white area around it, but you don't want to touch the stems if you can avoid it. It's fine if a little bit touches. We're going to rinse it. But you're basically giving fertilizer that can be slow release over the next couple weeks, and then every 2 weeks you're going to want to add a little bit more fertilizer. So now the last step is going to be to make a mulch ring around your plants. You don't want the mulch to necessarily crawl up the stem of your plant, but you make a nice little donut around your plant. The mulch is going to be great to keep the moisture in and to keep the soil moist, and especially in the beginning when you're trying to get those roots to take effect. And then you want to use your drip irrigation system to drip appropriately. It could be every day or every other day, depending on how you're watering and what other crops you have going. And your looper can actually guide you in terms of figuring out what your best watering approach will be. You'll want to monitor to make sure your soil is not too dry, make sure the plants are not complaining and showing signs that they're unhappy. You also don't want to overwater, because your plants will reject overwatering just as much as underwatering. And so you do want to let the roots reach out with a little bit of dry soil, without oversaturating. And so it's a little bit of an art form to figure out how to keep your water just right. But it's usually every other day. We plugged into our drip system for, I think it's maybe 10 minutes. I'm not 100% sure of that, but something around that. And usually every other day is sufficient, although you'll be able to determine based on weather if you need to back that off or increase that to a daily, like in the middle of the summer. Because this is our fall planting, the temperature is going to cool off, the days are going to be shorter, And so I think we're going to probably be able to back off on the watering a little bit, and then pay attention to the plants and see what they're telling us in terms of how much water they need. So when you water in, you definitely don't want to water your plant itself. You want to water around the plant, and you really want to give it a healthy amount of water, because it's got to not only, break down some of that fertilizer you just put on, but also you want to get any air pockets out of the plant. So we'll probably do it in 2 passes. So this is a pretty good first pass, but we're going to do another pass of equal amount. Sometimes it helps to do a pass, get the soil moist, and then come back for a second round in a few minutes. And that will allow the soil to absorb a little bit more water. And so you just want to make sure you really can't overwater right now. You really want to make sure you give this thing a lot of good water, and to let those air pockets kind of break down. And so that's really the key here, is we're breaking down air pockets in the bottom of the soil that we might have left when we transplanted these plants.